Scaffolding props up the shell-damaged 16th century walls of Sarajevo's great mosque. Muslims have been in Bosnia for 400 years. Christian Slavs who converted under Turkish rule, they pray as Muslims, although their language is Serbo-Croatian, not Arabic.
Everyone knows what happened to Bosnian Muslims in terms of concentration camps, in terms of rape, in terms of destruction of villages, cities, in terms of refugees from their homes. And despite all this, we are punished twice. The other punishment is that the Western community, or if you like, we can say the world community, or the world conscience, or European community, giving us some hopes that they will help us as victims. They betrayed us, and we believed them, and now they are betraying themselves. And they don't want to help us, but they don't allow us ourselves to help ourselves, because it is illogical, it is immoral, it is a cry to hold small people who are striving for survival and giving us these arguments that we don't want to lift the embargo, because if we do that, the more killing will happen. And the killing is happening every day, every day.
What can Muslims do to defend themselves?
We can do, because we are fighting for our survival. And we don't ask for your soldiers to come to defend us. We don't ask that. We don't ask Europe or Christians to come and to save the Muslims. We ask only one simple thing. Please, give us our right. And our right is to defend ourselves. And you don't do that.
Chetnik is only executors. And you are our really enemy, because from the beginning, you don't put us a chance to defend ourselves. You only give the chance to Chetnik to kill us day by the day.
Chetnik's the Serbian forces.
Serbs to take more territory.
It's a crusade war.
By Christians, you mean?
But Christians, yes.
Why?
It was 1,000 years ago, it was the same here, then from the Germany, from the French, from Italy.
We feel that we are not wanted in Europe, and we feel that the Christian Europe hate us because we are Muslims. That's our feeling. You see, they are killing me here because I am a Muslim. The only sin, and the only sin that, and the only guilt we are accused of is that we are Muslims.
Much of the real Sarajevo, the spirit of liberal secular life in which Muslims and Christians live together, lies here, beneath the ground, in old graves which have been reopened to take new bodies. Grave diggers are among the only employees in Sarajevo who still have a full-time job. Grave diggers and journalists. We reporters also catalogue this tragedy. But to what effect, I ask myself? Ethnic cleansing. How easily we reporters accepted this phrase. The Muslims who lived in these devastated homes were raped and murdered by the Serbs, not because they were ethnically different from their Serb attackers, but because the Serbs wanted the Muslims' land, and they got it. Our reports of their plunder made no difference. A year ago, the Independent sent me into Serbian Bosnia to search for a village in which Muslims still lived. I found a village called Cherif. It had a pretty mosque and a friendly imam who lived in a cottage next door. The Serbs promised to protect them. Now I was going back to see them again, accompanied by 2 watchful Serb policemen.
I'm sure it's the mosque. I went in there before. Keep going, keep going. This I'm sure. Yes, I remember going in here before. This is the mosque. Right. I see the problem here, then. Can you ask the policeman what happened to this mosque? I mean, last time I was here, I walked inside it. It was ordinary. What happened, Kathy? Can you ask him?
Onda što se dogodilo tu za džamiju, za sve?
It's no picture. Okay, all right.
Yeah, he'll take your phone away.
All right.
Again, he said.
Part of a school book.
I knew what had happened. How long would these Muslims put up with this sort of violence? How can I forget the place where I work, the Middle East? When Muslims there hit out at the West, we say we don't understand them. Mindless terrorism is the phrase we like to use about them. And every time I see things like this, I wonder what the Muslim world has in store for us. Maybe my reports should always end with the same phrase, watch out.
Well, no more mosque.
It had been blown up with explosives. No one would say who did it, and there wasn't any point in asking the Serb police. And here was the cottage in which the Muslim imam and his family had given me coffee just a year ago. They had disappeared, ethnically cleansed. Only a few days ago, no one would say where they were. But I recognized them from the old family snapshots. These were the people who gave me coffee a year ago. To this day, I don't know where they are. The end of the line for the Muslims of Bosnia. Despite our millions of words, despite the pictures of all our television colleagues, have we journalists made the slightest difference to this tragedy? These men and women were driven out of their homes this morning. Muslims, dispossessed, homeless, betrayed.
Why did they throw the Muslims out of Bosnia? Why have they done this to you?
Zašto mislite da Srbi su prisilili vas van?
A čuj, Bože moj, moram. Šta ja? Kako je? Kad moraš, moraš. Hajde, ostavi sve svoje i hajde. Eto kako.
Ne znamo. Očekujemo od međunarodne zajednice da će nas preuzeti, pa kako nam Bog da i međunarodna zajednica, pa eto. Idemo, ne znamo gdje ni kuda.
Can I ask you, why are you leaving Bosnia?
Mogu kazat, a je mi drago, krenuta svog kogrica nije. Znači kad, pa hvala Bogu, onda djecama zovu da nas prijatelj napusti, pa jedva čekam da dojdem. Kad se vidim da se radi iz vatre žive, iz kutarstva, Hvala Bogu. Hvala Bogu.
In the Middle East, as well as Bosnia, I've spent 17 years writing about these people. It would be nice to think the world listened to us journalists occasionally, but governments have grown used to ignoring our reports. If you still believe in the New World Order, you shouldn't be watching this. Governments want us to think about peace in the Middle East. They'd rather we never saw this, never wrote about it. They'd rather we shut up.
Sadika, this is you? Yeah.
Sadika, yes.
This is you.
Yes.
And this?
Muž moj, yes.
Your husband?
Umro, mrtav.
He's dead. And this here is?
Jetrva moja.
This is your mother here who's sitting behind you now.
Yes.
What do you think when you look back at these days now?
I što vi osjećate kad vi gledate ovakve slike sada?
Šta? Sami znate, presudite sami. Ja vas molim, nemojte me više pitati. Izvinjavam se, ja nemam više snage.
For these Muslims, this is their moment of despair, their day of catastrophe. An hour ago, they were Bosnian Muslims in their own homes. Now they are refugees.
Oh.
Just a little local train to take them north, to a refugee camp, another country, to another world, to be scattered to the ends of the earth.
Imam mjesto.